Now to Italy, where a traumatized nation is slowly starting to lift restrictions as the full scale of devastation from the coronavirus becomes apparent. James Longman is on the ground in virus-ravaged Milan with a first look inside that city since the outbreak began. James, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Whit. A really important day for Italy as it eases some of its biggest restrictions. This is the first time actually in 2 months that we've been allowed back here. But with 200,000 cases and nearly 30,000 dead, this country is still being very cautious. Millions are returning to work in certain industries. Commuters on the Milan Metro this morning offered us a glimpse of a new socially distanced reality and an important moment for families. Visits to close relatives are permitted for the first time in almost 2 months. But the danger of a second peak is why Italy is still being extremely cautious. Documentation is still required for anyone leaving the house. Masks and gloves are needed for people on public transport. This is a major test. If this goes well, shops may be able to reopen in 2 weeks and possibly restaurants and cafes by the end of the month. And then I guess it'll start to feel like Italy again. Amy?
All right, and the world will certainly be watching. James Longman, thank you. And for more, let's bring in ABC News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Jennifer Ashton. And Dr. Ashton, we see there that Italy is being very cautious with this, but are they potentially still moving too quickly at this point?
Well, first, Amy, I think we have to remember that this virus is not going anywhere. So it's a matter of learning how to live with it until a point at which a vaccine is available or certainly better treatments are available. So that's the foundation on which all of this reopening has to be predicated. Then I think you have to look to places like Asia that did start to see cases go up as they reopened. Again, they thought most of them were imported from outside their countries. And then here in this country, Utah, Texas, cases going up, Amy. And we have to remember the gating criteria here for reopening was that areas, states, cities saw a sustained 2-week downward trend in new cases. And that's really important to realize. This is not an on-off switch where it's all or none.
All right. And we know that there was a new antibody test that has been touted as effective, very effective. How optimistic are you about this new test? And do we know any more about whether or not antibodies mean that you could possibly be immune to the virus?
We don't, but 3 important things, Amy. When a disease has not affected the majority of the population, it affects the false positive and false negative rates. And right now, the estimates from epidemiologists and infectious disease specialists are that at most 5% of the U.S. population has been affected. So that is a factor. And in medicine, Amy, I say it all the time, you shouldn't do a test unless you know what you will do with the results of that test. And right now, everyone is clear. You should not alter any social distancing behavior based on the results of any antibody test yet. It's too soon.
Yeah, that is very, very important to remember. Dr. Jen Ashton, thank you as always.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.